So first.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast in the City Edition, Season 1, Episode 8. Lindsay played the, quote, mom card, and I'm about to go to war for her. You thought I didn't like Kenny? Oh, his girlfriend seems to have really pissed me off this episode.
She's like, hold my beer, Kenny. I'll get Alicia.
She messed with, it's too early in the morning to be this upset. But
She
I was
messed
genuinely
with the wrong
mad.
viewer, the wrong Lindsay stan.
And this is someone who is constantly annoyed when parents tell me they're more tired than me, okay? So
I can't wait to discuss this because I think we're going to tackle this so differently, which
Really?
we're always on the same side, but I think we'll think about this differently.
Okay.
So I'm excited to dive through the nuances.
Okay, same. Before we get into the episode, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description, and please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay. So, previously on In the City, Amanda and Kyle are separated but still together. Owen, spelled Eon, is married, but no one knows for how long. Yvonne had her third wedding, and it was a disaster for her. Danielle wore a pink-white dress to the dinner. Lindsay and Danielle got in a fight. Kyle and Amanda got in a fight. Lindsay cried over Kyle and Amanda. Yvonne got pissed at Lindsay for breathing. Kenny announced a Friendsgiving trip, which also made Yvonne pissed at Lindsay. So, it's just a time and a half.
Oh, man. What a dinner. I still think about that, by the way. Best scene of this entire season thus far.
Honestly, Lindsay just suffocating Kyle with the napkin was, enough for me.
Yeah.
I can make it the next few weeks now. That was great. So we're all packing for our Friendsgiving trip. And then basically we just go off. We get a little montage of them packing. Nothing exciting. Whitney has really overpacked. She's packing to
oh my God,
go on a 7-week European vacation.
Girl, relax. This also made me yearn for the summer house because I was like, oh, we're packing up. We're going somewhere fun, but the vibes will not be the same.
No. And we're in winter, fall clothes. And I was like, it's hidden different.
It's
so we
different.
go on the trip. We have a few different cars. So we have Kenny's car, which is him and Whitney. They're driving down with Danielle and Owen and Lexi and Andrea, which, can I just say, I hate to say this because I do love him because I know him. Lexi and Andrea are so boring, dude. This is not the show.
Okay, I thought the same thing whenever Lexi and Whitney sit down for that conversation later. I was like, and there's nothing coming from the other side of this conversation.
I literally forgot. We saw them packing. I forgot about them. I was writing everyone down, and then they popped up in Kenny's car in a later scene, and I had to go back and be like, oh, Lexi and Andrea are also in this car. I didn't notice they weren't featured at first. That's my hot take.
I fear that with them having a baby, it's obviously going to be a central focal point for the next season, but I can't do boring and a baby.
That's it. It's not even going to be exciting. I can't wait to see how they I forget they exist, quite honestly.
And for me, Andrea's abs serve as a different character too when we get them later.
But if he's covered up,
who is he?
I forget. No, literally, Kenny's car was shown, and I went, "Oh my God, who are those two people in the middle?"
The only reason I knew they were theirs because I was like, "Oh, I hate to be back row of a Suburban." So I clocked that there were 6 people in this car, and this is my nightmare as an adult.
Okay, so they talk about how Danielle didn't know if she should go on this trip because she ruined Yvonne's third wedding. But they're going to try and have fun. And then we have Lindsay's car, which is her, Georgina, and Amanda. Amanda, her goal for this weekend is to not get everyone else too emotionally caught up in her relationship.
I was like, that's a first.
That's great.
Interesting.
Do I think that's going to happen? No.
Absolutely
because
not.
I think you and Kyle have a way of ruining everyone's day, but...
Specifically dinner tables. They love to take over a dinner table, and we have to eat dinner on this
We gotta
trip.
eat dinner. We should start eating dinner in our separate rooms and just FaceTime each other so we can hang up.
It's like that one Below Deck charter where they like sent like half the people to eat dinner in their rooms and half the people ate at the main dining table.
That's it.
Let's do that, but everybody gets to
need.
eat dinner together. Amanda and Kyle have to eat in their rooms.
There it is. So then we have Kyle's car, which is Gavin, Nick, and Yvonne. And Yvonne did not want to go on this trip. And Nick had to convince her.
That scene of him convincing her, I was like, shut up.
They didn't even act well. She's like, I don't want to go. And he's like, I know, but
I think
we should
it's a
go.
good idea.
And she's like, okay, I guess I'll go. And I was like, damn. All right. So
me try not to buy something every day.
I guess.
Probably shouldn't.
So Yvonne needs to talk to Lindsay, and Nick's like, no worries, because if everyone's nuts, we can just go hide in our room. And I was like, you've never been on a cash trip. You can't do that, unfortunately.
And also, I don't want your, like, get out of this fight card to be you banging in your room to have a baby. Again, I don't want to talk about this.
You're trying. Yeah, you're raw dogging him. We got it. So, in Lindsay's car, we talk about the kids. And Georgina's kids and Lindsay's daughter, they're both with their dads, or they're all with their dads. And this is the first time Georgina and Lindsay are not going to be with their kids for an extended period of time. And Georgina even says this is the first time she's not going to put her kids to bed, because even when they're at their dad's, she goes over there and she does bedtime and does everything.
That is fascinating.
Agreed. I wonder if she does it because she wants to, or because her kids like it, or because the dad doesn't want to do it. Not to dad shame, but
well, let's dad shame all day. I find it fascinating. Because they had a breakup that was difficult. Georgina has said that she did a move out similar to Amanda, and he left her in her in the latest stage of her pregnancy with the second. So that would be hard for me to do, is to be in his space doing these familial family things. But Georgina also did want family time in their parental contract. So this is her getting it in a way.
That's true. Okay, in Kyle's car, they're like, Yvonne, thanks so much for coming, even though your third wedding was a disaster. And I was like, I think Gavin should take more responsibility than that. Gavin was the one that ruined it.
Yeah, there are so many bad actors in that group of that night. And to be honest, Danielle, her white dress is one of the fewest. And Lindsay is also one of the fewest. You're right. It's Gavin, Kyle, and Amanda were the biggest menaces.
No, literally. Because even if you're a man, Kyle was sitting right next to Nick and Yvonne. So while they're bitching about this, Kyle could have been like, hey, I'm overhearing them. Maybe we should just stop. But they can't. And then when they do stop, Gavin's like, let's do it again.
Yeah, he was like, wait. We got to circle back to the problem.
And then in Kenny's car, Lexi asked Danielle how it's going to go, since last time it was such a mess. And Danielle's like, well, I apologize for calling Yvonne a bitch. So we should be good. But there is Lindsay drama, because if you remember, Lindsay was Googling Owen.
I can't take this seriously from Danielle.
I can't either.
Is she actually upset, or is she trying to make this a storyline? Both versions, I hate it. But if she's telling me that this is for a storyline, I hate it a little less. Yeah. It's a bad storyline, but it's still, who gives a shit if someone did a quick Google search? That is every day that I wake up.
100%. And then Kenny's like, oh, I agree. We shouldn't have been having those conversations at the table. And I was like, literally, get fucked. Because besides Gavin, you were the second one that was really pushing this narrative that Amanda sucks and Kyle's the king and whatever.
True.
You're the reason the third wedding got fucked up.
But
Kenny.
Also, you were talking about Owen at Boys Night. And then at Boys Night plus Lindsay, you guys were also talking about Owen. So you were part of that problem, too.
The boys were the problem.
You're the Z in the boys.
So back to Lindsay's car. Lindsay has not talked to Yvonne, which is weird because they talk what'd they say, 18 times a day?
Yeah.
But she doesn't know what she did wrong, because The only thing she did was, like, not shut down this conversation immediately, but it was also their 15th wedding, which was 2 years after their actual wedding, which Lindsay did show up to.
Which is so funny because that's what you and I said. Both parts of that is I was like, oh, Yvonne wants her to shut it down quicker. And you were like, who gives a shit? This is the third fucking wedding.
Lindsay had 2 children and it's us.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, who cares? You're on a show. Like, I cannot stress this enough, Yvonne. I really do like Yvonne, except in this. And it's giving Stassi Schroeder, it's my fucking birthday. But let me tell you why it's different. Stassi Schroeder was 23 years old when she did that. Yvonne is like 30-something, married, trying to have a child. Here's the other thing. Everyone was ruining Stassi's actual birthday. Yeah. This was and that was first season of Vanderpump Rules. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. In the City is a spinoff of a show that has been happening for 11 years. You know how group dinners go. You know exactly how this is going to go. It's your 15th wedding celebration. Okay? Who cares if it's ruined?
I also believed Stassi, like, was actually pissed about her birthday.
Same.
This feels like a big grasp at a storyline for Yvonne of, like, This is my thing, so I'm going to, like, dig in harder. Yeah. And I get it. I get it as a storyline similar to Danielle. However, to go against Lindsay for that is the weird part. Like, be mad at other people
Be mad at Gavin and Kenny. Don't be mad at your best friend. Because that's the other thing. Stassi was upset because her ex-boyfriend crashed her party, and then her best friends and their boyfriends all told Stassi she was being ridiculous, and then her best friend's boyfriend threw a drink in her face. Yvonne was sitting at a dinner table where her best friend was kind of trying to shut it down, but it just wasn't working because there were 15 other fucking people arguing.
Like, the better way to take this would be to be mad at Gavin, Amanda, and Kyle and say, like, you guys are talking about divorces at my wedding.
At my wedding.
Like, that's what she should have gone down, is, like, the topic of conversation, let alone, like, how the fighting is going.
Lindsay was willing to take a murder charge for Yvonne, okay, by suffocating Kyle with a napkin, okay? That's friendship.
She did her job to shut it down in style.
Yeah, because guess what? Best episode of your stupid show, Yvonne, so far, okay? So, we get to Connecticut, but we're making a pit stop at an abandoned house. And everyone's like, oh my God, what's happening? Well, we're going to paintball, which is so fun.
I love this.
Which is so fun. Okay, so we got to pick teams. So we have Team Kenny, which is later named as Team Minions. And we have Team Lindsay, which is later named as Team Bitches. Okay? Love. Are we ready? So on Team Kenny, whose strategy is to win, we have Gavin, who grew up paintballing, Kyle, Whitney, Nick, Lexi, and last pick, Georgina and her ballet flats. Okay? Then Team Lindsay, whose strategy is to pick anyone who has an issue with her so they can't shoot her. She gets Owen, spelled Eon. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Hell
Amanda, who's on her period, so she's feisty. Andrea, Danielle, and Yvonne. So Lindsay's like, I'm not getting shot.
Smart on her part for her long-term strategy of life. I do love how Kenny did have to pick Whitney because, of course, he couldn't let her go too late.
I think the rule should have been no couples on the same team. You gotta split them up.
I agree.
Because every other couple was split.
Yeah, but of course, we have different rules for Kenny and Whitney. Don't you worry.
Because they don't have any problems.
No, and like she's new to the group, so like we can't.
She doesn't have any friends. Everyone's mean to her.
She's like not. Yeah, she needs a security blanket.
Yeah, all right. So it's time to paintball. Amanda and Kyle, they're just shooting each other. They're good. They're put in a corner. Yvonne is trying to find a way out. She wants to be gone, but she doesn't want to be shot. But she wants to end this.
Paintball kind of scares me.
Kenny's trying to rally the troops and strategize. Andrea, he's not from the U.S., so he doesn't know what the fuck paintballing is. And then Kenny's team ends up pulling out the win. So, and then we find out you can play a second game, but there are some people who genuinely don't want that.
They are like, no, thank you.
Lindsay, Whitney, and Amanda sit this one out. But Georgina, she's excited for round 2.
She loved this, and I loved that she loved it.
Me doing anything remotely athletic, being like, I'm not great, but I'm having fun.
But then once you are like somewhat good at it and in a groove, you're like, actually, I'm amazing, guys. Like, 100%. I was just fooling you the whole time.
100%. Okay, so Lindsay, Whitney, and Amanda grab a drink. Whitney tells them that Danielle and Owen showing up is a sign that they want to move in the right direction. And Lindsay's like, Danielle's fucking wild because she called us all bitches and then, like, made it a big deal that I Googled how long her boyfriend's been married. So I don't know what Danielle wants.
Okay, did Danielle call them all bitches or just Yvonne?
I think she also called Lindsay a bitch when she was walking out.
Okay.
She's like, whatever, bitch, or something like that, yeah.
I was like, I don't remember that. And also, like, let's get over calling people, like, bitches and losers. It's not that big of a deal.
Meredith, I was just about to say, if someone literally called me a bitch, I'd be like, yeah, and? Yeah. Like, someone called me a loser, I'd be like, probably, and? Like, that's the problem with me is I can't actually get in a fight with anyone because I'll say shit that I don't think's a big deal, and if they say it back to me, I'm just gonna end the fight, be like, who cares? But they're gonna get so offended, and I'm gonna be like,
the thing.
Whatever.
In the heat of an argument or, like, a just random passing comment. Like, to me, loser is just a passing comment.
Loser is funny.
Bitch is definitely more charged, but I'm like, in a fight, we're saying shit. Like, I get it if I actually tore you down to your core, it means something, but, like, just to throw out a bitch, come on, that's standard fighting, especially
Honestly,
for girls.
A bitch, a cunt, even that I'd be like, whatever, I am. It's if you read me down. That's when. So you gotta be more creative these days.
Because, like, I already know it. I'll call myself a bitch.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be like, yeah. I'm the first one in line to say that.
Like, come up with something new. Let's
Probably
get a little creative
loser,
here.
Also a jerk.
Like,
lame,
it's like,
stupid,
nobody
idiot.
would be offended if you called someone a jerk in a fight, but people get so riled up about some of these other words that I'm like, okay.
You know, in Home Alone, when he, like, fucks everything up at the beginning and his uncle's like, look what you did, you little jerk. We say that all the time in my family. Anytime a little bit goes wrong, we'll be like, look what you did, you little jerk. And it's so funny. Anyway, doesn't matter. But we get cut back to paintballing. Everyone's out except Yvonne and Georgina.
This is crazy.
Can you believe? How did Yvonne? She was trying to escape last game.
I can't even believe she signed up for a second round. So for her to be in these, like, finals, I was like, damn.
That's how you know she's mad at Lindsay. She was like, I guess.
I don't want to sit next to Lindsay. I would have to talk to her and clear this.
But Georgina ends up winning. She goes from last pick to the ultimate winner.
Huge.
No one lifts her up on their shoulders, though, which was kind of offensive. But
you know what it made me think about is the Summer House
kickball
game where they did lift
for Paige.
Wasn't it Wes? Oh, Paige.
No, it was Paige.
Okay,
Paige like caught the ball and she was like,
yes.
I told you guys
like,
I was
where
good.
is this moment, this camaraderie of a game? Get your team together.
Georgina is like, I did it. And they're all like, great. And they walk away.
They're like, and let's get back in the cars.
But you guys. Okay, so now it's time to head to the house. This is a big Connecticut house. And you know what it reminded me of, Meredith?
What?
Okay, remember in Real Housewives of New Jersey when there was that one big fight between Joe Giudice and
yes, at the Christie.
No.
Oh.
Joe Giudice.
When they go to the family, therapy session in the Berkshires. Yes. And they're in that, like,
apologize.
Room. And Joe Giudice Joe Gorga tries to take Giudice out by the knees.
Yeah. I'm not going to respect you. And then she's like, Joe, he's being mean. And then Joe comes in, he's like, apologize. And then they fight. That's what this kind of looked like from the outside because they had that long path.
Oh my God. This was giving me sorority house.
This was giving me family retreat.
Especially when they, like, were at that long table, they walk in and, like, Gavin, like, throws that, what was that, a cookie down the entire table? I was this is a fucking sorority house. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah. It was the Girl Scouts trip we all had to go on. Okay, so Kyle immediately looks for the sound system, which is crazy because usually Kyle's a big room guy, but now he's a DJ.
Because normally he travels with his sound system.
That's
he
true.
Didn't travel with his.
That's true. Georgina immediately grabs the master bedroom for her and Lindsay. She's like, this first one in, winner of paintball, I got it.
Hey, you're not wrong. What would you do? Would you go quickly and find a room that you wanted?
Okay. a lot of things depend on this because I am a single person with no kids.
Yeah.
I'm pretty chill. I would probably just be like, hey, I either want my own room or I want to share with like a friend. It doesn't really matter to me. I also am the type of person that when I travel, I'm not planning to spend a lot of time in my room.
Very true.
So but yeah, the first thing I'm doing is being like, so rooms, can I just pick?
I feel like you have to scope out and see what the situation is because there's always going to be a way better one, a way worse one, and one's in the middle. And I feel like trying to find one in the middle is always key because then, like, who yells at you for having a full-size bed as a single adult?
That would probably be me. But again, I live in a 400 square foot room. So, like, it's not a big thing for me.
And I think the dynamics change. Like, I go on a girls' trip every year where most people get their own room, or if they share, like, we try to give people who share the king beds. Like, me and my sister get a better room than my mom because we share a room.
Yes. Yeah, I guess that's the other thing is like, for me, it's not so much the room, it's who's in my room with me or do I get my own? Because I'll take a smaller room if I get my own.
Correct, yeah.
For sure, but if we're sharing, I do want a bigger bed.
Yeah.
Especially if we're not dating. So
100%.
But I'm not big on like, oh, which way does the window face or like.
No, couldn't care less about like the actual amenities of my room. To me, it's always about the bed.
The bed and where are we positioned? Because like, I'm a girl who can stay up late, but I'm not going to deal with Kyle Cook at 5 a.m. using the sound system. So I want a room away from that.
That's so true. Like in that summer house from season 3 and 4, I guess. Or 2 through 4.
Yeah.
That downstairs room, I would never want.
So loud, right by the door. Yeah. So I think it depends. But Georgina, we didn't discuss rooms before coming here.
Or even like what the plan was. So like.
Yeah. So. And
you do have to hop on it quick sometimes.
Lindsay and Kenny plan the trip, right?
Yeah.
And that's really all we know. But then this is when Kenny starts telling everyone and is like, Nick and Yvonne should get the first pick of the house to mend the wedding situation. It's their honeymoon.
But he only says that in the car.
In the car, right? He only says it in the car. And he's like, great, I'm going to go tell them now. So he goes up to Nick and Yvonne in front of the whole house now, as Lindsay and Georgina have picked the master, and he's like, hey, since it's your honeymoon, which it's not.
You're right, it's not.
Which this also pisses, sorry, as a single person, I'm gonna bitch about this again. I spend a lot of time and money going to people's bridal showers, bachelorettes, and weddings, and I do that all. You only get one. Okay? And also, I'm not on your honeymoon. I'm not here to celebrate your honeymoon with you. And if you dare have, first of all, more than one wedding, don't always count on me. It depends on how close I am to you. I'll go to a civil service and be your witness. That's fine. But I had to go to a third wedding, and then this is now your honeymoon? I don't think so.
Well, not only a third wedding, but, like, it's another nice dress. Like, I have to get myself there. Like, yeah, you're feeding me, but, like, I also am participating in this. Weddings are not just a couple thing. It's like, there is a lot of burden on the people showing up, and I want to. I love celebrating my friends.
100%.
But, like, it's not something where, like you said, like, I don't go on your honeymoon with you and you get the bigger room. If you choose to plan, like, a group honeymoon or whatever, that's different. Like, but you're not sponsoring this trip. It's not your honeymoon trip with us.
You didn't even plan it. Kenny and Lindsay did.
Yeah.
And now Kenny's just like, hey, everyone, this is their honeymoon. Since when? Because I'm not sitting at another dinner where we have to talk about Nick and Yvonne and their honeymoon.
Now this is the fourth wedding.
I'm over it, right? So, yeah. He tells Nick and Yvonne, as everyone's listening, he's like, hey, you get the first pick. And then
I will say, though, it's not Nick and Yvonne's fault that this is
No.
Like, this is Kenny.
This is Kenny. He came out of nowhere with this. No one else was in the car, and mostly Whitney knew, right? And Georgina's like, Lindsay and I are going to grab the primary because we're two moms who haven't been away from our kids in a while. And Lindsay's like, yeah, we're two moms. We need the bigger room. And Yvonne's like, sounds about right. You can have that room, because she's just annoyed. But I don't think Yvonne cares about
I don't think so
room.
really either. I think she's annoyed with Lindsay and they haven't talked. And so, like, this is just another grading thing. Because, like, to be honest, anytime I'm mad at my friend, if something else happens and their name is tied to it, you're always like, ugh. Like, of course this is happening.
They could burp too loud and I'd be like, of course they fucking did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I genuinely don't think Yvonne and Nick
care about the room. I don't think they do.
But Kenny's like, no, you should care more, and we should let you get first pick. And Lindsay's like, no, I'm going to instead take the primary and I'm going to put all your gift baskets around because I'm the one that planned this trip and found the Airbnb. Okay, great. And then Nick and Yvonne are like, it really doesn't matter, but like, thank you, Kenny, for being so kind.
Oh, I was like, shut up. It's kind of performative because he's doing this alone. So then he can be like, I want you to have the best room.
It was the nice thing to do, and Lindsay just wouldn't do that.
Yes.
Sir, if you want something to happen, you got to tell everyone.
True.
Collectively.
True. And like when we walk in, like take a hold of the situation because you didn't, and now it's out of control and you want to put the genie back in the bottle when other people have kind of already scoped out some room situations.
Kenny continues to be my villain.
Because if you are going to take a room, Georgina did it right. I went and put my shit in a room. I claimed it. Like, first come, first serve.
I already farted in the bed and pooped in the bathroom. You want this one?
My shit is on the bed. I've already laid in the sheets, so you don't want it.
I smashed my face right in the pillow. Yeah. You can have it if you want. Lindsay, basically, her argument is like, look, Georgina and I are two moms. We haven't had a night to ourselves in a fucking long time. And also, we're not a couple, so we don't want to touch, so we need a big bed.
That is the point, like, that I think is really clear that they don't say to other people, which I think hurts them in the, like, group arguments.
But I don't think it matters because no one told them this was a thing.
No, I agree. But I think they tend to, like, that point, they verbalize only to each other and in their interviews. And so I think that also goes a long ways when two people are sleeping in a bed who are not a couple, like having a bigger bed does matter.
Yeah, 100%. But again, I don't think it was like, I don't even think it was necessary to argue. Like at this point, I too would just be like, I'm not moving. If you think 100%. I'm a bad person for not moving, I don't give you a reason. Yeah, no. 100%. So then Lexi and Whitney talk. I'm gonna say it. These are two of the most boring people. I'm so sorry.
I couldn't agree more because
there's no emotion.
I have a lot of facial like emotion like going on, and they are both deadpan talking to each other about something that does rile up kind of the group or like is the problem in this episode.
Yeah.
And it is the most bland thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, and we also have like you can hear the change in our voices as we talk about something. They were literally like, can you believe? Isn't that so crazy? And I was like, that's something I expect out of, honestly, like Gen Z. That's kind of the really, really deep Gen Zers. That's kind of how they talk. But this was just boring.
How they just stare at you. You're told they're like, when you like go up and ask them for help and they're just staring at you. Yeah.
Like Ava from Next Gen NYC kind of talks like that, but she does it in a very just like, it's just like she doesn't care. These two genuinely care about what they're saying. You just wouldn't know it.
That's so true. Like Ava's is like cool girl, like have it all together. Like it comes off differently.
I can't be bothered. Yeah.
Yes. Whereas the two, I'm like, is there anything happening in your brain though? Like
they're bothered. It's just like watching two different kinds of vanilla ice cream melt. Like you're just like
it feels very robotic and so sterile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'll stop shitting on these two now.
I won't. So, this scene was so painful for me to watch.
Whitney thought Georgina and Lindsay were good friends with Yvonne. So she's shocked that they wouldn't make a small gesture to make amends with her.
That's so weird to me because that is not how my friendships matter.
Hey, will you forgive me if I give you the bigger bed? No, we have to talk about things. What? The bigger bed?
Alicia, I love you dearly. If I swindled myself into the master suite, I will do everything I can to keep that.
But also, if I'm pissed at you for something, that's not going to fix it if you give me the bigger bed. If you're like, here, Alicia, have the bigger bed. Are we good now? I'd be like, no.
That's so transactional.
No. What? I don't care about the bigger bed. I care that we talk about the issue between us.
Yeah, especially because it's not, the issue isn't about you being like considerate of me and me getting better rooms. The issue is you didn't shut down conversations at my third wedding.
That's the issue. Which the issue might not matter, but we still need to talk about it. You know,
yes.
It's just so stupid. Anyway, But then Whitney says that Lindsay always plays the single mom card. And then we cut to this scene that happened in the Loverboy trolley where Lindsay told Whitney, she was like, look, I've heard that you're upset that I'm not reaching out to you to hang out. But here's the thing, I have limited time. So that means I have limited effort to give to new people. And she goes, but I still texted you to make sure you were okay. However, I'm really busy because I have a job and I'm a mom and I'm dealing with legal stuff right now. So like, I'm sorry, I can't really be your friend. And so Whitney's mad that Lindsay's played this mom card.
Listen, fine. If you want to say there's a mom card being played in this room situation, it was in the discussion of the room.
Sure.
That scene, I was like, Lindsay was listing her responsibilities in life. She wasn't like, I can't text you because I'm a mom and you're not.
Yeah, I can't drop everything I'm doing to make sure you're okay in this new city you chose to move to.
No, but there wasn't a card played. She literally wasn't like, I can't do that because I'm a mom. Like, it was literally just like, hey, my life is really busy. I did reach out to you. There was no card played because she did reach out to Whitney. I didn't understand this scene being put in there.
Whitney wants to have beef with Lindsay so bad for a storyline, but the beef's not even good.
I don't even think it's just because of the storyline. I genuinely think this is what Whitney believes, and that's what's, like, even more concerning, because, like, I will always respect the hustle of trying to make a storyline happen, no matter how dumb it is, but I don't think Whitney understands the responsibility she has in friendships and moving to a new city, and we've talked about this in other episodes of this season. But, like, it's not Lindsay's job to make sure you are comfortable here. Lindsay is a participant and should be considerate. And it sounds like she has been, especially in that scene.
But also, Lindsay doesn't really know you. You moved to this city. You have to show that you want to be friends with Lindsay, and then Lindsay can respond appropriately.
Yeah.
But it's not like Whitney moved here and Lindsay was like, oh, I know this girl Whitney moving here. It was literally like
that.
Oh, she popped up one day at this lunch with this guy I don't even like.
That you don't get assigned a friend when you move to New York City, and you definitely won't be assigned to Lindsay Hubbard.
Can I just say something? If anyone ever questioned the difference between Bravo girlies and Bachelor girlies, this is it. I have been talking about this since Love Island USA season 6, when everyone was watching it, and I had totally different takes than my friends who are Bachelor people, and I was like, why are we blaming women, y'all? Why do we have beef with women? And I was like, oh my God, that is such a thing. And as I watch this, am like,
that's a really good point.
This is different. The Bachelor Nation is built differently, and I don't like it because y'all aren't surviving an apocalypse.
Alicia, that's so true, because the two sides of being on The Bachelor are, you're obviously competing for the man, but that's kind of somewhat separate from the women, is when you're in the house, you're either best friends or you hate each other. Yeah. And so if Whitney doesn't jump, or if Lindsay doesn't jump to be Whitney's best friend, then that means you're my enemy.
Yeah, but also you don't have to do any work because you're automatically just in a room with all these girls, and now they're all your best friends or your worst enemies. The real life is not that Bravo is totally 100% real all the time, but Bravo's more real life as in these are people's lives. And so you're not just because you're going on vacation with these people doesn't mean you're going to be friends. You still have to put an effort. Just because you're on a show with these people, that doesn't make this your friend.
But I feel like because it is a production, like, Whitney doesn't feel the real friendship in hanging out with Lindsay, because it's true. Like, they're not actually friends. They're being set up by production to do these things together. So it is a little bit hollow of a relationship. And that's totally valid to feel, but to blame Lindsay for it is crazy. Is the problem. Is like, 100%. If you want to build a real friendships with the people you're A, on a show with, or B, in Kenny's life, because some of these people, like, actually are Kenny's friends. Yeah. Lindsay and Kenny are not actually friends. They're on a show together. So you need to decipher between the two. Like, Kyle, like, make good inroads. Like, and Kenny should be helping you with that. Lindsay and Kenny are not real friends. So, like, why would there be legwork on anybody's side to be more than just cast members? Unless you, like, really did hit it off.
Yeah. When I tell you the difference between Bravo and The Bachelorette has never been clearer to me.
Yeah.
If I didn't already know.
Thought about her past experience with that.
I've been bitching about this for over 2 years now.
No, but, like, specifically with Whitney in this show, I never really, like,
it's gotta be.
Add in that context.
It's the only thing that makes sense, especially because we just talked to Chris about this, guest on the podcast, friend of the podcast, where Rachel Lindsay, another Bachelorette girl who is friends with Whitney, is like, oh, Lindsay is so mean, blah, blah. No, this is real. This is real fucking life. Not everyone's gonna be your friend, but not everyone's gonna be your enemy. Like, guess what? Lindsay literally doesn't care what Whitney does. Because that's not her enemy, but it's also not her friend.
That's so true about Rachel Lindsay. Like, I was so shocked by that take when Chris told us that. But you're right, like, it's all about the context of The Bachelor. Because, like, Rachel Lindsay doesn't have bad takes. Like, she rarely is on the wrong side. And, like, when Chris told us that, she was like, I was so shocked and appalled that she would ever be like, I can't believe Lindsay, X, Y, Z.
You know what else happens on The Bachelorette? If you and I are friends and you start beefing with another girl, I have to start beefing with that girl. You know what happens in real life? If you and I are friends and you start beefing with a girl, I can just exist.
That is like, we have that on this show, is Danielle and Amanda don't like each other, but Katie DeLuca, who, yes, we never see, Lex, is able to manage it. Like, you're able to manage friendships. Because that's maybe normal. You don't do your scenes together, like, the three people who are in this, like, friendship triangle, but, like, I can be individual friends with each of you.
But Rachel Lindsay has to have beef with anyone Lindsay really does, because it's, like, the Bachelorette mentality. Yeah, I said what I said.
That's so true. It's all about showing up and showing loyalty.
Yeah, I'm a Bravo girl through and through. Because you can show loyalty. Lindsay has loyalty to, like, a fault with a lot of her people.
Yeah.
But it's not to this, like, crazy of a point. I think Whitney's also showing that, right? Like, if Kenny's fighting with someone, she has to beef with them, too. And it's like, no, you can just not exist.
You can
just, like, not care. Yeah.
And, like, you can still have loyalty, defend your partner when they're in fights with that person without, making it your own beef and your own little flavor of it.
That's what I feel like Whitney's doing is like, oh, I gotta have beef with Lindsay now, and this is how I'm gonna do it. And it's like, are you?
If we're doing it for a show in the storyline, it's smart. Like, this cements you into the show. Like, you are the other
But it's so
side.
Boring. But it's so boring.
But it's like, you're not showing up and doing it well. But the idea to beef with Lindsay is a smart show move for storylines. I'm going to be honest.
The problem is
but it's not entertaining when they do it.
If Lindsay doesn't beef back, you're kind of fucked.
True,
right? Danielle is going to come on to season 2 because she's got beef.
Yeah.
Like, and Lindsay bites every time. If Whitney's yelling at Lindsay and Lindsay's like, I'm just going to leave, you really don't have beef. Anyway. Whitney says, because she's pissed Lindsay played the mom card, she's like, everyone has stuff going on. And Lindsay has a lot of support, which a lot of other single moms don't have help. So Lindsay's actually...
I don't get that. I hate when people are like, you have a nanny, you can't be upset.
Yes, I can.
Okay. That's like saying, like, you send your child to daycare. You can't be...
No.
Like,
no, that's like so Whitney's contradicting herself, right? Because I get the idea, right? That, like, you can't tell me that your life is worse or harder or whatever. Like, you might not know my life. And I get I don't have a kid, and that is one of the hardest things people have to go through, right? But I think you can be a parent and be like, my life is very hard, without hitting other people down and being like, but yours isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If Lindsay said, my life is harder than yours because I have a kid, totally valid. And, like, that's not fair. Upset. Like, this isn't the suffrage Olympics and whose life is harder. And, like, I'm busy too because I don't have a kid. You're busy because you have a kid. But Lindsay never once in the scenes we've seen has said that. And I don't think Lindsay would ever believe that because Lindsay hustled pre-kid. Yeah.
But then what Whitney's doing is she's like, actually, Lindsay's not that much more tired than me because she has a nanny. And I'm like, you're doing like, exactly
what you think she's doing to you.
No, that's it. And I'm like, but that's the other thing is, like, you can't not want to be slammed and then slam other people. And also, if you can afford a nanny and here's the thing. Do I think some parents have it really well because they, like, have a lot of money? Yeah, for sure.
The privilege exists.
Yeah.
And, like, the disparity exists. And
100%.
Is it a privilege that Lindsay has an at-home nanny so she can spend time with Gemma anytime she wants? Absolutely. But that doesn't take away her responsibility as a parent.
And the other thing is, Whitney, is we have 11 years of footage showing Lindsay hustling her ass off. Okay? I made a TikTok about this, but I'll say it again. Whitney only has a job on this show because Lindsay exists. This show is on the backbone of Lindsay Hubbard and a little bit Kyle and Amanda, but I don't care as much about them. I was like, wow, they took Lindsay and said, your life is going to be so interesting. Let's build a cast around you and your friends.
That is like, they don't want to miss out on her because she can't go to the summer house every week, that they wanted to keep her on Bravo because she's so fucking interesting.
Yeah, bitch. So you got hired because of Lindsay. You wouldn't be here if not for her. And you're going to sit here and be like, oh, but she doesn't work that hard because she has a nanny. She can't be that tired. Bitch, you're here because she exists.
She's more tired because she probably has a nanny and she's hustling out there in the world.
And she wants to be around her daughter because she knows what it's like to have a parent that doesn't want to be around you. So she doesn't want her daughter to know that. Oh.
But even crazier is I was like, I feel like Whitney wants to be a mom. So this is going to be an interesting take when you eventually become a mom, hire a nanny, and doing all the things you're mad at, like, Lindsay for. I can understand the beef between people who never want to be parents and people who are parents and, like, you don't understand my life, I don't understand yours. But Whitney, you want that life. Yeah. So how is this about to play in, God willing, like, if she wants to be a mom, that she becomes a mom. But, like, you're going to want one day to be able to say you're tired because you're a parent.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because you have now made this comment against rabid Lindsay fans like ourselves, you will never be able to live this down.
No. And also, as someone without a child and who would like to remain child-free for this foreseeable future, I can be tired. But do I think it's a different type of tired when you have a child? Yes. Yeah. I think that is a whole nother level because I'm tired without one. I can't imagine you. And like all mine are like for myself. I'm tired because of me. You're tired for another human. Do I think you're probably a rougher type of tired? Abso-fucking-lutely. Well, and like, I will never not think that.
You're tired because of another person, but then you have to take care of another person still. Like, remember when Georgina and Lindsay were talking about being hungover and having to take care of another human? My nightmare. Like, I get to be tired and, okay, I just won't do my chores that day. Yeah. I'll lay on my couch. I can't imagine having to take care of a thing. And by a thing, I mean child.
A child. But yeah, so like, but don't slam me, which Lindsay wasn't slamming childless people. She was just saying,
because I will fight this. I will fight this when parents are like, you don't understand, like, you're not busy, you're not tired. I will fight you. But no, I will fight people to the core for that. But Lindsay hasn't said that. Lindsay hasn't dismissed Whitney's life. Because, like, she's a parent and, like, you don't get it. Like, and I won't ever get being a parent.
I won't.
At this point in life.
But you don't have to come at me about it, which she didn't.
Isn't. So, like, this isn't the fight that, like, Whitney's making it into.
She wants one-sided beef. Anyway, oh my God, we gotta move on. So, Lexi's basically like, I've never heard Lindsay play a single mom card.
Thank God Lexi said that, though, because I was like, if you're gonna be
you better pick a side, bitch.
And mute, I'm gonna be pissed.
But Whitney doesn't feel like Whitney doesn't like that Lindsay feels like she's more deserving than other people. And let me tell you, that's all in her head. That's all in Whitney's head.
I think Lindsay thinks she's above Whitney in this show capacity and deserves the primary suite, and Lindsay would be right for that. But it's not because she's a mom and you're not.
Well, we also talk on Summer House. There's a respect tier. There's a tier of respect.
There is, because I don't want anybody ever coming at Lindsay on this show for wanting the primary suite when Kyle Cook demands it every single season and nobody takes up issue except for me with that.
And Amanda gets it because she was married to Kyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the person who is the star of the show, which, let's be honest, Summer House was built off of really Kyle Cook's back.
Yes.
With help from Lindsay. This show is 100% Lindsay's. If she wants the primary suite, she's gonna get that. You're welcome for her letting you be on the employment.
Yeah.
On the payroll, baby. Anyway, so everyone's kind of like walking around the house, drinking some rosé. Georgina apologizes to Danielle for getting on her about the white dress. She's like, I just want to live in peace. Amanda, Kyle, and Gavin are trying to figure out the room situation because these are the three single people, even though two of these people are married to each other.
I was so confused by this.
Gavin has inserted himself into this marriage that he doesn't really know a lot about. And he's like, hey, Amanda, do you want me to bunk with Kyle or do you want to? And she's like, I'm married to him. I'll room with him. And he's like, okay, if you ever want to switch, let me know. And he's like, what room do you want? He's like, I would love this room.
But it felt like Amanda wanted her own room.
Yes.
And I get, you know what, listen.
She does.
If there were enough bedrooms, totally understand them sleeping separately.
She has her own apartment, Meredith. She wants her own bedroom.
But because there aren't enough bedrooms, the fact that this is even a topic of conversation was weird. Like, in my mind, Kyle and Amanda would have the bigger bedroom and would sleep together.
Yeah,
and Gavin would have the
two twins.
Because unfortunately, that's what happens to single people is like, you're just there.
Listen, you put the two twins together and you got a big bed. It
that
could
have happened too. Or if, like, Gavin really wanted a bigger bed because he's like, single people always get twins. Like, and Kyle and Amanda share the room with the single beds because they probably don't want to sleep together. Like, to me, Kyle and Amanda were always going to share a room.
100%. So Gavin's like, Amanda, if Kyle pisses you off, we'll switch rooms. And I'm like, so Gavin and Kyle will get the twin bedroom?
I was like, no. This is so weird.
Their marriage is over. The fact that they're in the twin bedroom, if we didn't already know, this would have been the moment I would have been like, divorce.
So many clear signs over the season where Amanda is also participating and being like, yeah, no, this is over. Her actions are showing this is over, but her words, she's like trying to keep the facade up, and it's like so weird.
They're sleeping in the two single siblings room, okay?
They're now siblings.
They're siblings. This is siblings. Anyway, so Yvonne and Danielle are matching again, all in black, turtlenecks. Very
fun. This was a good nod. This was a good, I feel like, icebreaker for Danielle to be like, oh, shoot.
It was good. Good on Danielle. One thing Danielle can do is she can take an awkward situation and try to joke about it.
Tongue in cheek. Yeah.
It might not always hit, but she'll try, which I appreciate because we got to move on. We got to move on. Okay, so it's time for some rosé. We are going to do catering in about an hour. Kyle's like, hey guys, I'm going to go upstairs and take a bath because I'm struggling. So he tells us about how he took some fiber supplements at the recommendation of his dad for some amazing poops to the point that you wouldn't even need toilet paper. But Kyle didn't know you're supposed to ease into these fiber supplements, and he was taking 4 times the recommended dose, and he basically gave himself a Fisher's cut? Is that how it's pronounced? Fisher's cut?
I don't even know.
And he had to see a doctor, and if you don't know what a Fisher's cut is, it's basically you rip your butthole open.
That is crazy. Yeah. This is where he shows his age, because I'm like, what young 20-year-old is worrying about their poops like that? Yeah. Kyle is
calling my dad for advice.
Excited about like getting this recommendation from his dad, and then it spirals out of control.
Yeah, and then his dad's like, oh, you're also supposed to take stool softener. I know I'm old if I ever have to take a stool softener. Or something's very wrong with me medical.
Yeah, or like where you're like excited. You're like, ooh, this is like a face mask I'm doing.
Stool softener with my fiber supplements. I can't wait.
Oh my God, Kyle. Anyway, also, this sounds so painful.
It must be. Listen, I have IBS and sometimes my butthole hurts, but a Fisher's cut? That's
I'm not going on a trip if I need to soak my asshole in a bathtub.
Mm-hmm. So, it's time to get ready. Amanda and Kyle did find children's robes that they're very excited to wear. So
because they're the children's robes.
Because we're siblings. And
this was funny. Them in their little robes.
That was I was like, it's me and my sister, basically. Andrea and Lexi, disgusting, are gonna try and get their baby on this trip.
Stop. Bravo. Stop doing this to me.
Georgina, Amanda, and Lindsay talk in the room because they're all getting ready in the big master bathroom. Because Amanda's trying to avoid Kyle and his Fisher cut, and I get that.
Well, they also have to share a bathroom. That's part of the problem with the rooms, I heard, is not every room has a bathroom. Then that's part of the issue with Kyle soaking his asshole, is he's taking up the bathroom from other people getting ready.
Yeah.
This is just chaos.
So Amanda goes into the master, but they're talking about how annoyed Yvonne was. And Amanda's like, shh. Yvonne can probably hear you through the walls. Her room's right there. And Georgina's like, what? It's the truth. And she's also like, it's really not their honeymoon. Which
I love her.
I'll say that to someone's face too.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle sets himself up really nicely in this bathtub. He's got candles. He's got Loverboy. He's got his phone. He's got the cameraman watching him. That poor cameraman.
So funny.
I hope that's one of Kyle's, like, longtime cameramen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who's been through... Yeah. Well, you know what? Kyle actually has been very naked all over Summer House. It's so true. This actually isn't weird for him. It may be weird for the camera person, not Kyle.
It might be weird for us watching, but weirdly enough, it's fine. Well, it's
very on brand for Kyle.
If someone's going to do it, Kyle's my number one choice. You know what I mean? So then Lexi joins the girls getting ready in the master, but Lindsay leaves. She's going to find wine. And Lexi's like, oh my God, guys. Kenny wanted Yvonne to have the rooms for like their wedding, their honeymoon. And she tells them that Whitney was so taken aback because Whitney thought it was a really good idea. And then when Georgina and Lindsay took the master, they pulled the single mom card. And Georgina's like, what the fuck? Lindsay planned this trip. And Lexi's like, yeah, she planned it with Kenny. And Amanda's like, she's the one that said this is, or Amanda says that Amanda, was actually the one that brought up to Georgina and Lindsay that this is their first trip without kids. So she's the one that played the single mom's card. And Lexi's like, oh, I told Whitney how much is on Lindsay's plate, and she actually doesn't use that excuse. And Georgina's like, hey, give Whitney some advice and tell her to not fucking repeat that this weekend in front of Lindsay.
1,000%.
Oh, Lindsay would throw hands, dude.
Oh my God, and Georgina will too. Georgina is straight up with it, and also is a mom in this room. So you have 2 single mom cards coming at you.
She's a mom in this room, in the bed.
Yes.
So Georgina goes to grab a drink and she finds Lindsay and she's like, dude, you'll never guess. Whitney said we're playing the single mom cards and like she's the victim. And
I love how Amanda is like there. She's like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want any of this.
She's making a disgusting martini.
Wait, later we find out she doesn't know how to make martinis, which is crazy. It's so fucking easy.
If you just saw her, she just poured the vodka or gin or whatever it was and then poured the olive juice in. And I was like, girl, you gotta chill and shake it or something.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Anyway, Lindsay and Georgina pissed. And Lindsay's like, what's Whitney tired about? Pilates? That's kind of funny. And then
Pilates and getting her matcha?
Well, she goes, it must be a tough life to go to Pilates every day and drink matcha and beg your boyfriend for a closet.
That was a good read.
Awesome.
10 out of 10.
That's what you say to someone. You don't call them a bitch. You say that. Woo.
Yeah. That would get me to my core because also that is my life and I am tired.
Yeah, no. You're right. What do I have to be tired? I'm not even begging a boyfriend for a closet. I got my own and I'm still tired.
And is this when
anything?
Is this when they cut to Whitney in the bathroom saying she's tired?
Maybe.
There's a moment where I was like, oh, bravo. I mean,
it's so messy.
I love it.
All I do is read my book and oh my God, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
and Whitney's doing more than me.
I will never shame someone for being tired. I will say when people are in harder situations than you, read the room and like maybe 100%. Don't complain to them. Because I remember my 100%. Senior year of college, I was taking a full class load. I was driving to Kansas City 3 times a week for work, which is an hour each way. And I had a friend who was taking 1 class that final semester. And she'd be like, I'm exhausted. And I was like, I'm not the person for you to come to complain to.
You can be exhausted, but don't
you got to do it to somebody else. So like, listen, everybody can be tired because like you can have nothing in your life and you cannot sleep that night. Yeah. Everybody can be tired.
You got to make a joke out of it. Like, I would be like, oh, I'm exhausted, but I wouldn't want your life because I don't think I could survive it. Like, I'd be like, acknowledge
like, Pilates kicked my ass today. Like, walking to get my matcha really took it out of me.
How is carrying your child around? Was that tired? Because that seems more tiring.
Pilates hasn't gotten me that, like, workout that where I can carry a baby on my hip, you know.
I'm only doing 5 pounds each, so good luck with your child, I guess. But then they talk about how Kenny was also raised by a single mom. So, what are we even talking about?
So true, actually. Like, Whitney, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
And Lindsay's like, I opened up to Kenny about my abandonment issues, and I would have assumed Kenny told Whitney that. So the fact that she can't be more understanding is also crazy.
I will say, abandonment issues plus playing a single mom card are not the same thing. Like,
different.
So now we're just digging up everything to be mad at everything.
Which she will.
She will.
That's
Lindsay. Whitney has no idea what's coming at her.
That's Lindsay.
True.
But Lindsay then says, I don't even think Danielle would do something like that. And it cuts to Danielle, and she's like, huh?
That's so funny because Danielle said the same thing after the trolley. Whenever Amanda, and Danielle had issues, Danielle looked at Lindsay and was like, you wouldn't even do this to me.
The bar is in hell for these friendships.
They're like, you've done horrendous things to me, but you wouldn't go this low.
Oh, that is so funny. And the best part is, Lindsay wasn't offended when Danielle said that, and I think when Danielle sees this, she would also not be offended. She'd be like, and I wouldn't.
Because I think they agreed. They're like, no, this is a low blow. Like, this isn't something that I would use as a reality TV fight.
I will cry at your engagement party and tell everyone that this is a bad idea, but I would never shame you for being a
mom and tired. And I will tell everybody you wore a white dress to a wedding, but I wouldn't send an article asking about your boyfriend's divorce.
I'll Google him, but I wouldn't send the article.
But I wouldn't say hee hee ha ha about it.
There's no paper trail on my end.
That's so true. That's so true.
So Yvonne comes down and she's like, she's so passive aggressive. This would drive me nuts. She's like, oh my God, can you guys hear everything from your room? I can hear everything from my room. And Lindsay's like, oh, so you heard that Whitney said I was playing a single card?
Lindsay forgot she's in a fight with Yvonne, and that they were shit-talking her too a little bit.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, you heard that too? Let's go off. And Amanda's like, no. She heard that you were talking about her, which technically it was Georgina, but
1,000%. And they were just like laying out the situation. They actually weren't shit-talking Yvonne.
Yep. And Yvonne's like, yup. That's what I did here.
Yeah.
So
walls are pretty thin here.
Should we talk about it? And Lindsay's like, you want to talk about it now? And Yvonne's like, yeah. Should we talk about it now? And I was like, just go talk about it. Like, Georgina has to be like, you guys should go talk about it.
You two walk that way.
These two love to, like, Lindsay specifically, she gets that look in her eyes where she's like, oh, do you? And Yvonne's like, should we do it? And I'm like, just go do it.
It's like an SNL skit. Yeah. Like, oh, really?
Oh, you want to talk about it? And you think
you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it? Yeah, I do. Do you? Like, it was crazy. So Georgina's like, please go talk about it. So they go talk about it. And Lindsay's like, listen, in regards to the civil ceremony celebration, and Yvonne's like, no, my wedding. Like, can I say
my third wedding?
At the top of this conversation, I was cracking up by the end of it because this is so stupid. Like, this is
so dumb.
Dumbest argument. Anyway.
And they don't really have the fight in them to argue about this, to, like, make it camp. And so I'm like, let's talk about it and move on.
Georgina should have waited to tell Lindsay about Whitney because that really took Lindsay's focus somewhere else.
Out of her, yeah.
And here's the other thing, Yvonne. Now Lindsay just can't be she can't be arsed to care about you.
This actually was already very low on Lindsay's totem pole. This doesn't even register to Lindsay anymore.
Yeah. So Yvonne says Lindsay has always been her most supportive friend, and if anyone's going to celebrate her and Nick, she expected it to be Lindsay. And Lindsay's like,
I did.
Hello? And Yvonne's like, it didn't feel like we had a friend at the table to get everyone back to the point of me. And Lindsay's like, okay, normally you're right. That would be me. But I was taking the heat from every single angle, okay? I was triggered because of my ex. I was dealing with Amanda and Kyle and their divorce, which, Yvonne, don't know if you know this. Lindsay's been here since the beginning, okay? This is very triggering. And she's like, and then Danielle's screaming at me about Googling when it was the boys. And Yvonne's like, you were just so invested in the drama. And Lindsay's like,
I'm also a reality TV star. Like, that is my whole job.
Yep. She's like, yeah, and you blamed me for all of it. And Lindsay says she left crying because of how much Yvonne, like, put on Lindsay for it being her fault.
Yeah, like, you can be mad she participated, because she did. But, like, to blame her and be the most mad at her after all of that is crazy.
And Yvonne's like, I'm just looking for an apology. And Lindsay's like, an apology? Did your night suck? Yes. Did it suck? Or does it suck that it's, like, associated with your civil ceremony celebration? For sure. But Lindsay's like, I went to your wedding. I went to your bridal shower. I went to your bachelorette. I went to everything. Like,
I have shown up for you over and over again. So her to play it off as if Lindsay wasn't showing up for her is crazy. Lindsay was there to celebrate you. Mm-hmm. Did your celebration get derailed by other people's drama?
For sure.
Absolutely. Did Lindsay participate in the drama? Absolutely. But to then completely wipe away any support that Lindsay had on that night, let alone for their actual marriage and wedding celebrations, is
crazy.
So far from the truth.
So Yvonne just kind of looks at Lindsay after Lindsay listed all the things she's done for Yvonne and goes, it's just crazy. You can't apologize right now. And Lindsay's like, no, because you need to see where I'm coming from. And Yvonne's like, you're expecting an apology from me?
I don't think an apology is needed back. But because of where this is going now, you're getting into I need to apologize territory.
I think originally if Yvonne had just said, look, like, I shouldn't have blamed you, but I am upset and this is why.
I forgot about, because of the blaming, yes.
The blaming, you should apologize.
Yeah, because if you're seeking an apology from Lindsay, I better hear that you sought an apology from every other person before you came knocking on my door.
Yeah. Just because that's the other thing, right? I think we do expect a lot of, like, the people closest to us.
Absolutely.
But also, we need to show most grace towards the people closest to us as well.
Yeah,
and, like,
we tend to give excuses to people who aren't as close to us, and they get more passes for bigger behavior than we would ever give our friends.
So, Yvonne says Lindsay did not help diffuse the situation. And Lindsay's like, okay, let me ask you this. What were your expectations?
She absolutely did. She literally blindfolded Kyle with a napkin.
She tried to suffocate him.
She strangled that man for you.
So yeah, Lindsay's like, what did you want me specifically to do?
Great question, because I think that's where the issue was, is like, what did Yvonne want? And why didn't she say that out loud?
And Yvonne's just like, I don't know, but you didn't look like my best friend.
There it is.
Wrong. That's wrong. And Yvonne says, ever since Lindsay, well, this is like to us, not to Lindsay, but she's saying that ever since Lindsay has had a baby, their relationship has changed. They now kind of find each other annoying. Yvonne thinks Lindsay thinks that all of Lindsay's stuff is more important than Yvonne's. And she's like, we've always been on the same page, so it's a big adjustment and we're figuring out where to fit in, which, may I say, when your friends have children, your relationships do change. Yep. And as childless people, you also have to be prepared for that, right? The same way your friendships will change when people get married or move.
Even people with children have to be prepared for that in the reverse.
100%. I just think people with children are less aware of it because all their attention is now on this new thing they have to figure out. But, you know, when people with children realize it is later in life when they're like, I have time now.
Where are my friends?
Where are my friends? You know what I mean? So I think Yvonne was maybe not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because Lindsay has said she's one of the first in her friend group to have friends. Or to have a child, too.
Yeah. But Yvonne also is like, I think Lindsay thinks that her stuff's more important. You're
assigning, feelings onto how she's showing up into this. I think Lindsay thinks her stuff's important to her, and she's got a lot on her plate, but she's not going to compare it to yours. Like, she's trying to manage a million things on her list, but you're putting down your life through Lindsay's lens, and she's not doing that.
And here's the thing. Lindsay cannot show up for you the same way, right? Like, we've had this discussion where, like, Yvonne still calls her and is like, do you want to go out tonight? And Lindsay's like, I literally can't. I have a child now, right? But Lindsay still does show up for important things, right? She was the only one that showed up for the civil ceremony because that's what was asked of her, and she made a point to do that. So she can still show up for you. So you have to be ready for it to be different. Yeah. And it sounds like, sorry, Yvonne, she's not giving Lindsay grace of being like, you have a lot on your plate. You don't have to be my number one supporter 100% of the time. Like,
I think
you
some
can
of this
take breaks.
Is also tied into Yvonne being laid off. Is like, she doesn't have a job right now. So she has a lot more time, not just being a parent or non-parent. Is Yvonne can do anything at any time. She doesn't have to wake up for a 9 to 5 the next morning. And that sucks. And it feels like she's kind of trying to shame herself through Lindsay's lens. Like, I tend to do that. I assign emotions to my friends and narratives in my brain. And it's just me trying to shame myself through my friends. But that's not fair to blame the friend for that when you're doing that to yourself.
I think the other thing is, right, Yvonne, and she has said this, she wants to be where Lindsay is.
Yeah.
So I think that's another hard thing is, like, not in the sense of, like, she wants to be a single mom, but she wants a child. And Nick is the one kind of, like, putting brakes on it for right now. And so I think she's also, I don't want to say jealous, but I think she's kind of like, I don't have a job, I don't have a child. Like, she's trying to figure out what she wants. But she, unfortunately, to get a child, you need a sperm. And so
I don't know if you know this.
And her sperm donor's not coming through right now. No, I'm just kidding. But
he's on board now.
Let's wait.
But it also takes 9 months. Like, once you get pregnant, so then it's like they're willing to have a child, but it doesn't just magically happen. So
I think there's a lot going on for Yvonne.
I agree, and I think it's all then like converging, and so then it's like this big knot of emotions that she can't unravel. So the easiest thing to do is, like, you tend to like lash out at your friend when they do one minor inconvenience, and then you like channel all of that energy at that one friend here.
And can I say, I think Lindsay has had a lot of faults throughout the year. I have stuck by her through all of those.
Yes.
But I think one thing Lindsay's really good at is recognizing when other people need something very simple from her, and she's able to give it because it doesn't cost her anything, and it will just make her life easier. I think she's also able to recognize when, like, other people are struggling with their emotions, and she's willing to just, like, move forward without really maybe, like, I would say, like, the correct way of, like, fixing
like
everything.
Having to untangle everything and really assign things and, like, trudge through it. She's like, we can address, acknowledge, and just, like, pass through.
She's good at saying, you're really hurt, and I can recognize maybe it's not at me, so let's just, like, I'll give you the grace.
Yeah, without fully sweeping it under the rug and pretending 100%. It didn't happen. Yeah.
So Lindsay does apologize. She's like, look, I'm sorry I could not show up for you in the moment as your best friend. And Yvonne appreciates the apology and says they should be able to talk about things because that's what their friendship is. And Lindsay's like, yeah, we're real with each other, so let's continue to be real with each other. And Lindsay says she was very real with how she felt that night at the third wedding celebration. Because, like, there was a lot of emotions. And she's like, and I'm sorry that came out at your wedding. Yeah. And Yvonne's like, I just want to move on. So they agree, like, they're good. We're good. We're moving on.
Put this to bed. No more third, fourth, fifth, sixth wedding celebrations.
Yeah. I think Lindsay can recognize, like, she is not to blame, but Yvonne's going through stuff. So she's like, well, just.
And she needs someone to kind of be the, like, scapegoat of this night.
Yeah. And she's like, I got to get my minions back in order because Whitney is trying to come at me.
You know what? We got to go to battle.
Let's go, minions. Tonight we take the moon. Let's go. Yeah. She's there. So it's time for dinner. Dinner is a little cold right now, but it's fine. Nice try, Kenny, with your catering. So Amanda asked Lindsay, she's like, oh my God, does everyone know Gemma took her first steps? And Yvonne's like, I didn't know. And I was like,
wait. This is actually so sad. Lindsay said that it happened with the nanny. So, like, Lindsay wasn't there, but, like, thank God the nanny's really great, like, took a video. So, like, that was also, like, channeling into this weekend of, like, being away from their kids is really tough because they have to miss a lot, whether it's because they're working moms or they are single moms and have to split time with the dads.
This is a side note, but I just heard a Reddit story the other day where someone was like, I was babysitting for these two kids and, like, there was, like, a 5-year-old who was upstairs and then, like, a new baby.
Yeah.
And the parents left and were like, the baby's really close to walking, but don't let her take her first steps without us. And so, like, the babysitter was like, okay, whatever. And then the baby, like, started taking their first steps, and the 5-year-old was, like, coming down the stairs.
I would have pushed the baby over.
Well, a 5-year-old is not going to keep a secret, right?
Yeah.
So the babysitter did, like, but the babysitter said the bad part was, like, they were standing, so they just kicked the baby down. And the baby, like, started crying, and I was like, whatever. And then the next day, the parents texted the babysitter and was like, oh my God, she took her first steps. And the babysitter was like, shout out. I drop kicked your
There's
baby.
so much pressure as a parent to like be there through it all. We make all these moments, such Instagrammable moments, and that's so tough.
If I was the nanny, you drop kick that baby down and go, don't you dare.
I think it's a little different being like a nanny who's with them all the time because you're like a parental guardian, like instrumental in their life. Yeah, a babysitter, I'm kicking that baby's legs out.
That's so stupid. But that's what I thought of with this. I was like,
safely, so they don't get injured. But like,
nah,
5-year-old's not seeing.
No, that 5-year-old cannot keep a secret. Anyway. Yeah. So they all cheers to Gemma walking, and then Gavin's like, also. Hey,
Gavin,
dude.
Ready to stir the pot. Here we go.
Not allowed at another dinner ever.
Also, he's at the head of the table, so it's 10 times funnier in this situation.
This is the dumbest thing. So Gavin's like, I would also like to raise a glass to Kyle, because he's going to become a famous DJ for booking 14 gigs. And
we're celebrating 14. Hasn't he already done like 20 million?
Right. If you were in the summer house, he does a set every night. So let me tell you.
True. You don't know it like we know it.
Amanda, though, didn't know anything. And she goes, excuse me? And then
I was like, wait, what do you mean you don't know anything? We had the same fight like a month and a half ago.
Well, Lindsay and I had the same reaction because we were like, fuck, not again. Lindsay is the only one that knows exactly how this is going to go. And she's like,
Lindsay perpetuates it. She knows more like after the summer house season than she did when she had the original fight.
For sure.
Like, we hashed that stuff out. But Lindsay's like, he never tells her anything in private. And I'm like, whoa.
No, I have PTSD from Summer House. Yes, but here's the thing, right? As soon as Amanda goes, I didn't know that, Lindsay gets PTSD because she's
immediately,
like, fuck,
yes.
fuck. And then she just kind of turns to, who was it? Like Danielle was next to her?
Georgina. Oh, it was Danielle.
Like, okay. She like looks at Danielle and she's like, he can just never tell her stuff in private. I think it's more of like a fuck, he did this already this year and now I gotta deal with it again.
Yeah, that it's like, oh wow, here's another thing like Amanda didn't know but the group knows and now we're gonna have this big discussion at dinner.
She finds out with the group and we're at dinner again and
because
thank
even
God
if
Carl's
it's not true,
here. Because my
even
God.
if it's not true that like Amanda already knows this stuff, to Lindsay the perception is that Amanda doesn't know anything.
Yes. So Amanda's like, hey, Gavin, how badly you want to be in that twin bed with Kyle? Ha. I was like, damn it, Gavin, you knew this.
Oh my God.
And so Gavin's like, oh, Amanda, I thought you knew. And because Kyle had just told Gavin the news. Yeah. So you would assume your wife would know.
That flashback of Kyle telling Gavin was everything we learned at the summer house.
No, we didn't know he had the gigs lined up. We knew he was thinking about signing with a man. He wanted to sign with a manager and go to Vegas.
For a residency in Vegas. So like multiple shows. So to me, 14 shows isn't that many. It's not like he's like, I'm going to be on tour every single day for the next year.
Also, you might as well be because y'all are not in the same house. It doesn't really matter anymore.
What does it matter if he is?
So Kyle looks at Amanda and goes, oh, I did end up signing with that manager. I was like, damn, we didn't officially say like we did this thing. Remember that thing we talked about? I did it. I gotta listen. I don't want to stick up for Amanda. Truly, I don't. But you could have the day you signed just been like, hey, I did it.
I agree. He should be telling her, but she is not reciprocating anything of the sort
That's
back.
Also true.
Where she tells him things or includes him
she
in
doesn't
on conversations.
Have anything to tell him. She's not doing anything.
The lease is the one for her. Like she wants to pull this stuff. If you don't tell me anything, we're not a partnership. You don't like converse with me about things. Their separation. She didn't even let him have an opinion or discuss it with him. She told him it was a done deal. So if that's happening to me during our separation, that's how I'm going to start treating you bad.
You know what? Eat me up, because I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's like they have had conversations about this happening in the way that it is happening. So like it's a formality once he signs it.
Eat me up. Hell yeah. She signed a full year lease without telling him.
Yeah. Because she loves to unleash people at him at a dinner table and feign like that she's blindsided when she's not. Yeah. We have seen this exact conversation play out at least 3 or 4 different times.
You're right. Wow. Eat me up.
It pisses me off.
Kyle's also going to make $250,000, which sounds like he really needs right now because Amanda fucked up his $5 million investor deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Kyle is listing his accomplishments for the day. He's like, listen, I'm doing a lot. And Lindsay's just like, oh, this is going to go really badly over my dinner again. And Amanda's just pissed. But she's excited for Kyle. She's like, hip hip hooray. But she's pissed that she doesn't know anything and Kyle's excited about this. And she even says, she's like, I appreciate everyone supporting him. However, no one here is really privy to our relationship.
Which is very true.
There's a lot happening.
So let's not have this conversation in front of everybody and weaponize people against each other when they don't actually know the context.
Gavin, maybe next time ask Kyle, be like, can I announce this at the dinner table?
I don't think Gavin was wrong for trying to, like, celebrate him of something he did not know Amanda didn't know.
He knew. Here's the thing, is Kenny and Gavin, though, are so anti-Amanda. They're not even Team Kyle. They're just like, which I get, but they are so anti-Amanda at this point that they are like, we're going to brag about Kyle just to, like, piss her off.
But I don't think this, I agree with you. I think that everything that Kyle says to them that damages Amanda's reputation, they eat it up. However, I don't think that they think about Amanda in this type of stuff.
No, they never do. So,
like, I don't think it's, like, to get at Amanda. I think it is to prop Amanda, or to
it's to prop Kyle up more than it is to hurt Amanda.
But I think they're fine with it hurting Amanda. Like, propping, like, but I don't think it's like, oh, we're going to announce this because Amanda doesn't know. Like, they don't know that stuff. They're just like, let's lift him up. Like, that's our boy. I think a little bit.
Like, I don't think they'd ever put Amanda down, but they're like, we're going to keep raising Kyle, and if Amanda keeps going down with the shit, that's fine.
But it's not because she doesn't know this information.
Yes.
So it's
100%.
not like they're like, oh, we should have asked if Amanda knew. It's just like, oh, like, we're going to put our boy on a pedestal in front of her.
And who cares what happens to her. Yeah. So Amanda's just like, it would have been nice to have a conversation. And Kyle's like, I've tried to have a conversation with you multiple times since March. And Danielle, again, I can't read Danielle. She comes in to stick up for Amanda again. And she's like, I'm upset for Amanda because it sounds like Kyle got a loophole. Because if you remember, Kyle's a drunk and Amanda's a druggie. And Danielle is team druggie on that one. She's like, Kyle shouldn't be getting drunk.
But she druggies from home. Kyle drinks out.
Yeah. So Lindsay agrees with Danielle. And Andrea's like, listen, Kyle, you do need to get rid of your past behaviors. And Kenny's like, no, it sounds like Kyle doesn't want to go home because it's a bad situation. Because Kenny is team drunk.
This is what's complicated about it, is like, okay, yes, a married person should be going home to their wife. However, I do understand Kyle also doesn't like his life. So does that lead him to go out more? Yeah, I can conceptualize that. And also, he's now making money. Is that a loophole? Like, it's all right. Everything is right.
Yeah. It's just also so crazy. Here's the real issue. Amanda and Kyle not compatible. So everything and everyone, it's no one's fault at this point. It's just like, y'all shouldn't be
at this
together.
Point, it's null and void of a fight because Kyle never wants to settle down, never wants to be the guy who goes home before 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Amanda never wants to be the person that goes out after 10 p.m. So there's this block of time that Amanda will be asleep. And what does it actually matter at that point if Kyle's out at the bar or at home? Like, I kind of get Kyle's headspace in that. Is like, she's never going to do this stuff with me. What do I have to go home to?
It's because he's out here making her look stupid. Because
it's in the compatibility issue.
He's like cheating on her. But that's because he doesn't like her because she's not putting out because she's always high.
It is literally, I have never seen a more round, perfect fight ever in my life.
Truly, I can't take a side because there are none. It's one
every
circle.
Time I get on someone's side, then I understand the other person's point of view.
I'm exhausted of this.
And this has been 10 years of our life.
And can I tell you, that's why reality TV is so special, because sometimes it's not black and white and it's not even gray. This is all the shades mixed together and whatever that is.
Yes, I actually really love in reality TV when I hate and love and dislike and like the person all at the same time. And I'm like, I understand your point of view, but I also think you're so wrong. Yeah. But you actually are right. But actually, because of this, like the nuance of it in this fight has been actually very interesting for years.
Fascinating.
Would hate to be in it, though.
At this point, because it's changed every year, but at this current point, I'm like, I fucking hate Amanda. But you know what? She's got some great points. And I love Kyle, but you know what? He's really fucking up. And then I sit here and I'm like, Kyle just pissed me off with that, but he's making a good point. And then I'm like, Amanda's really not pissing me off, but that was a dumb point. And I can't connect it.
It's like, you're so hypocritical for this, but also you owed her that because you technically are still married, but also this. Yeah. It's a perfect ping pong, like, tennis game.
It's incredible.
Of a fight.
It's incredible. Because then Amanda's like, look, we're trying to do a hard reset on our relationship, but Kyle's hard reset consists of him doing nothing. And Georgina's like, or no, sorry, take that back. Amanda's like, we're trying to do a hard reset. Kyle's like, yeah, but your hard reset consists of you doing nothing. And then Georgina's like, that's not really nice for Amanda to hear because she probably feels like she's doing a lot. And Kyle goes, so what is she doing?
And I went, point.
Because
I think there's this assumption in the friend groups and even in the public at this point in time, fall 2025, that Amanda's putting and investing more into the relationship. There was that narrative. And we're seeing that literally come down brick by brick. Because I was like, no, answer the question. What is Amanda doing? Amanda, what are you doing?
We know what Kyle's doing. He's trying to pay the rent. He's trying to get some money. He's trying to keep this company alive so he can support Amanda and her 2 dogs. He's dealing with Amanda. He's letting Amanda move out. He's giving Amanda exactly what she wants. He's not having a say. Whatever Amanda wants, she gets, and he has to agree to it. What's Amanda doing?
This is in a power position where Amanda has say over Kyle. Like, Kyle is not allowed to respond to any decisions about their separation. But when it comes to actual work on working on their marriage, neither of them are doing anything. So it's not fair to pin that on Kyle, though. It's like, you can't use that as an argument of like, but Amanda's investing in the relationship, because she's not. Like, anything they're doing, the one thing I can point to is couples therapy, which I don't think we've seen them go to in a while or had it talked about, but they are both doing that. So like, one person doesn't get to lord that over each other's head.
The only reason they think Amanda's doing something is because she's at home. But you can do nothing from home. Like,
very good
point.
Stupid.
So then, I gotta say, Owen spelled Eon, he's the only one that I sat here and I was like, you know what? We should listen to him. Because he comes in and he's like, hey guys, so I'm watching this and it reminds me a lot of my marriage. And he goes, if you keep bringing up the past, you're done. He's like, you're going to get divorced. One-way street. And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
yep.
Speak on it.
And I was
Speak on it, Owen.
Owen spelled Eon. You should really direct that at Amanda, who has brought up Kyle cheating.
Hell yeah.
Literally for 10 years. Like, that is the biggest issue, is like Amanda bringing up Kyle's drinking in the past and cheating in the past. Like,
the minute
Kyle like, doesn't really bring up old stuff about Amanda.
Kyle's like, oh, you're being lazy. And she's like, oh, well, I'm being lazy, but you cheated on me 10 years ago. And it's like, oh, give it a sec. But yeah, I think Owen spelled Eon makes a great point. He's like, hey, I don't even want to know whose fault it is, but y'all are going to get divorced.
I feel like he's the one who put on glasses. Everybody else is blind. And he said, I can see the situation for what it is.
They're
you
like,
guys are all pretending that this is going to work out, and it's not.
He's looking at Danielle. He's like, don't even waste your breath on this argument, because they're going to end up in Divorce City anyway. So there's no need, right? And Kyle's like, I'm gonna spiral. And Amanda's like, I'm gonna cry. So she leaves the table crying and shaking. And Lindsay goes after her. And Gavin gives a nice little smile to the camera. Did you catch that?
I did not, but I need to go back and look at it because I would eat that shit up. I didn't get Amanda like getting to a point where she was like shaking and stuff. In my mind, something had to be cut out, because I was like, yes, we're fighting, but I was like, this is a normal occurrence at Summer House. Like, what's different about this situation where she's like hyperventilating? And I don't mean that in a dismissive way. Like, I was just very confused because it like cuts from Owen/Eon like being like, hey, Divorce City coming. Amanda, like, you know that you moved out for an entire year. And then I was just like, oh, whoa, where did this become like she can't handle this?
Okay. I agree, because this kind of went to 0 to 100 for me. My only thing that I can think of is, like, we all know they're going to get divorced, right? I don't know yet if Amanda, because she doesn't really have critical thinking skills, I don't know if she's put that together yet.
Admitted it to herself.
Yes. And, like, everyone always is kind of babying her of like, you guys need to work this out. You guys will get it. This is the first person that's looked at her and literally does not care about her and is like,
True.
You're gonna get divorced. And then in her mind, that makes it almost like real to be like, not like, oh, I'm going to lose Kyle. I think it's more like, fuck, I'm going to have to get divorced. I'm going to have to figure all that out. Because for someone who doesn't do anything, that's a big thing to figure out. She's like, I'm going to have to, like, it won't just be a year. It'll be more than that. I'll have to re-enter the dating pool. Like, I'll need to, like, rebrand myself as, like, who I am without Kyle's, or, like, not being Kyle's wife. I think it was that of, like,
financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, like realizing right now, the drop off, like she's about to hit.
Yeah, it's very still like, oh, Kyle and I are married and I don't have to do much, but I get like all the benefits of not being near him. And she's like, because she's very adamant that like, we're still married. We're still working on this.
Yeah.
We want to do this. Even when she was talking to her dad and her dad's like, what happens if y'all don't actually make it work? She's like, then I'll have to make a tough decision. But she couldn't say, then I'll divorce him.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, because she gets all the benefits of marriage right now without any of the responsibility, which like kind of dream. Yeah. Like I would like that. I would like to not pay for my health insurance.
Marriage,
and
may I say?
Yeah, that's true because Kyle handles things. Like Kyle is a doer. I think she thinks Kyle's gonna come in and save the day and like magically change this. And if she like threatens enough, it's gonna change things.
He'll change completely so he can save
I bet
this.
At times he has like situationally changed or done things better or stopped going out. And so like I wonder if she thinks like, oh, if I make a big change, like he'll make forever. A bigger change back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if she divorces him as they're doing now,
it's a lot of work for her.
There is a lot of taking care of yourself that you have to do, that she went from her parents taking care of her to Kyle taking care of her. And that's crazy.
So I think it's a little bit of like the shock. And I also think it's the fact that this guy that doesn't really know them and doesn't really care about them is publicly going, if y'all keep this up, both of you are responsible for that divorce.
Yeah, that's true.
Because right now it's like Kyle's the bad guy. But
every
he's like,
conversation we have is
if
Kyle's
you keep
the bad
bringing
guy.
Shit up from the past, you're gonna get divorced. He's putting blame on Amanda, and I think she's like,
and there's no like coded language, like, oh, you might get near it is you keep doing
you
this,
will get divorced.
You get that. It is 1 + 1 = 2.
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
I think that's it. And you know what? Cheers to you, Eon, because
you know what?
Owen spelled Eon.
You stepped up. I did also like that. I was like, oh, God. I
was like, eat him up. So, yeah, Lindsay goes off. Gavin smiles at that camera. He goes, you like that? Sign for season 2?
You said that. I'm not joking. He is such a good podster.
If you want to go watch it, if you want to watch it, it's as soon as Lindsay, like, chases after, the camera still kind of lingers, and Gavin's like, And so Kyle's sitting there. He's like, what the fuck did I even do? And Yvonne's like, listen, this keeps coming up. It's like, it's you going out. You need to stop going out. And Gavin's like, he only stays out till like 2 a.m. That's basically a night in. And then Andrea's like, Gavin, you are so single. That's not even good. Me super single. That's so bad. That's not it.
I get the energy you're trying to say is for New York City, that's not really that bad, but like not the time.
Well, also as a restaurant owner, fine, but Kyle's not he's a DJ. But the other thing is he doesn't show Amanda he cares.
This is Gavin's manipulation into getting more money for his bars and restaurants, because Kyle drinking out at his bars and restaurants brings in the audience.
Yeah. Like, remember that one DJ we heard about that has a family and he goes straight home? So it is Kyle doesn't want to do that. That's the problem. And Gavin,
like, it's not just based on one thing of him coming home. It's that, like, while they are not out, or like during the day, they're probably not doing things together. And if Kyle is able to weirdly wake up at like 6 a.m. after
to work,
days, but then he works his full-time job of Loverboy. It's like everything gets his attention except Amanda. And that's a valid thing for her to be upset about.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not really about the time he comes home. It's like where he's putting all his energy and his time.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrea's like, Gavin, when you're married, it's different. And then Kyle's like, oh my God, Andrea, I cannot listen to you talk about being a perfect married man. And Andrea's like, but it's true. When you're married, you have to go home to your wife. And then we cut to Amanda. She is sobbing, shaking. She's having a panic attack. This is why I think this is the first time she's like, divorce is on the table. Fuck. And
Yeah.
Amanda tells Lindsay she just wants Kyle to give her respect and talk to her about things, which, like, it's a two-way street, girl.
This is
you know
when
what
I was
mean?
pissed, because I was like, you have given him nothing of
Calm
that
down.
in this show.
Calm down. So Kyle, back at the table, he's yelling at Andrea. He's like, oh, you're a married man, but also in a marriage, you should have friendship and compassion and intimacy. And I don't have any of that. And he's like, I don't want to even hear from you. And Owen's having war flashbacks. He's like, Danielle, we gotta get out of here. This is like my divorce. And then Kyle says he has 10 years on Andrea's marriage, so let him know when he's caught up to Kyle. And I was like, honestly, though,
I was like, this is the best Kyle has done in an argument about his marriage of like spinning
Shut
his
the fuck
facts,
up.
his side. You guys don't understand, because I do agree with Kyle. Like, he deserves things in return.
Yeah.
Like, if Amanda's gonna get what she wants, if he comes and spends time with her and he stops going out, is Amanda gonna reciprocate the things that he wants?
Yeah.
Because that's the big conversation that's not happening, and we're constantly dancing around that.
That, and I do think, like, through the years, your marriage changes, right? Like,
yeah.
Kyle at this point, I think, has been married to Amanda longer than Andrea has known Lexi. So, like,
1,000%.
Like, and Lexi and Andrea broke up for a little bit and then got back together.
When they got married is when Andrea and Lexi started up again. So, like, it's actually the same amount of time, but that's not fair. Is like, dating somebody is vastly different. Being married is vastly different. Being in a long-term marriage is vastly different. And doing it all on TV, because Andrea left TV to navigate the relationship with Lexi privately. So, like, well, everybody gets that choice, and it was a choice for Kyle and Amanda to do this on TV, and it was a choice for Andrea and Lexi to do it not on TV. It is a lot harder to go through a relationship on TV.
Yeah, and like, Andrea's lucky where this wasn't his full-time job, so he could leave it. But at this point, Kyle and Amanda, they were like, what's paying the bucks, so we got to do it. And so basically, Yvonne tells the table that everyone's only really hearing one side, so, like, we can't come at both of them. And Gavin's like, no, actually, I hear both sides. And I think Amanda takes no accountability. Which, like, you're right, but also you don't hear both sides.
There is no way you are sitting down with Amanda hearing her perspective of this divorce.
And then Georgina's like, I can't listen to Tweedledum and Tweedledummer over there.
Couldn't agree more.
Kenny chimes in and he's like, Amanda has to meet in the middle. And Lindsay's like, okay, what does she have to do? Because since the jump, she's been trying to meet him in the middle, which I think Lindsay's kind of reading the situation wrong. But also, to me, she's the only person that really can speak on this.
I agree, but I just think there's this cloud that I've already said it, that, like,
there was the Kool-Aid.
That, like, we all had this narrative that Amanda was doing all this. So I understand Lindsay's perspective, but I'm like, you're so off base.
I agree, but I think, like, Gavin, shut the fuck up. Kenny, you haven't lived with them for 10 summers, okay?
Yeah.
Like, Andrea, you just got here. Georgina luckily isn't speaking. Yvonne, shut the fuck up. Nick luckily wasn't even at this dinner, I don't think. Danielle can maybe speak on it a little, because it's different when you live with them and you literally listen. Like, Kenny knows Kyle, but he only really knows Kyle's side.
And, like, it's okay to, like, know one person's perspective,
Sure.
but the way they're fighting against, because everybody's doing this for different versions of it, is we're all fighting against the other person, and it's like, how about we all just agree we don't know anything?
Divorce.
Like,
Owen spelled it and is like, can we all just agree divorce? Or
how about, can we take a group vote? I will actually get my lawyer on their divorce as well.
The details actually don't matter because it all ends the same, let me tell you guys.
He's like, how about we stop wasting our time? Let us get a fast pass to that divorce table.
And then Lindsay's like, also, not to mention, he's cheated on her a bunch of times. And Danielle's like, yeah, he has. And Kenny's like, oh, a lot of times? And Lindsay's like, yeah, we just don't talk about them. And I was like, ooh.
But I'm like, if you're gonna, like, mention it in a sly way, mention it all.
Mention it all.
Of the casual drops of, like, he's a big old cheater. Like, okay,
show me.
I'm here to
I'll believe it. Listen, that sounds right. My critical thinking skills, it sounds right. But can you show me something? Because y'all hid it for so long, so mention it all. Let's see it.
Because I'm like, why'd you hide it? Like, what are we hiding too? Because I do think kissing someone versus sleeping with someone is different levels of cheating. They're both bad. And like, but you could work them out different ways. I could work it out different ways. Like, everybody gets to decide for themselves. But also, at a certain point, you no longer get to use these cards when you chose to stay in the marriage.
What do we always say? What do we always say?
If you choose to stay, you got to move on.
Yep. So anyway,
like, that's not some big dig at Kyle, because I also use that as a dig to Amanda.
Yeah. Listen, we got to move on. Amanda chose to stay, so that means everyone else, that you can't use that. You can't use
that logic, if Amanda doesn't move on, Kyle gets to keep cheating. No, I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah. No. Hell yeah, brother. No. So, next time, we cheers to Friendsgiving. We go on an apple picking tour. Whitney finds out Lindsay knows what she said, and she doesn't care. Lindsay confronts Whitney. Kenny confronts Gavin. Amanda and Kyle have a sit-down post-Westgate, which I don't know what to call this scandal. It just doesn't, either. Nothing flows. Like, Scandival really, like,
I know, because Scamanda doesn't do it for me.
No, Scamanda is so not it for me.
No. But that's the only thing I can describe it as, because, like, that's the colloquial term.
Yeah, I wrote Westgate, and I was like, I don't love that either.
No, there's just digs at each of them. Like, to me, Scamanda is just a dig at her, not about the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out one day. Or they'll disappear and give us what we want finally. Anyway.
They will not disappear. I stand on that. Like, don't get your hopes up, people.
It is time for my favorite bit, in the city or out to the suburbs, where we pick our favorite to keep in the city and we boot our least favorite out to the suburbs, even though we are out to the suburbs in this episode. But
who are we leaving here?
Yeah. It is an even number, so that means it's my turn to go first. Out to the suburbs, there are honestly a lot of people I want to send out to the suburbs.
A lot of issues here.
I have a lot to choose from, mainly 3 that I'm in between, but I think I'm going to go with the person who pissed me off the most by a small margin is Whitney.
Okay.
Whitney's my out. Let's leave her. Let's leave her out here.
Yeah, and I get that. And unfortunately, I have to double block her because if you're not, or double leave her in the city, or suburbs. If you're not going to also make it interesting, you deserve the double. Because if you possessed this, I would have picked somebody else. But you pissed me off, and this wasn't fun.
Listen, and I'll accept her in my car ride back to the city, but Yvonne, you were very close. Okay, you were a very close second.
You're in that back row, that third row of that Suburban.
Listen, you're lucky we talked and Lindsay apologized, or else you would have been in the 6th row of that Suburban or whatever. Okay, who I want to have in the city. I'm so biased, but I love Lindsay, dude. I
knew you were going to pick her, and I'm so happy.
Great. She was just so funny and great, and she has beef with everyone, and it doesn't matter, and I really like her. I really love her.
Because I don't think people have studied reality TV as long as we have for 20 plus years. I don't think that people understand how a good reality TV star does it, because it's kind of hard to discuss it. Lindsay was in everything. Every scene. Every issue. Every conversation. Yeah.
She had, Whitney was talking about her. Yvonne was pissed at her. She was at paintball and she got to pick the team, so she's a captain. Georgina's hanging out with her. We got rooms. Everyone's pissed at her, right? And then the Amanda Kyle situation, she's in the midst of that. Like, she is, Gemma took her first steps. Like, everything was Lindsay was there, and she's really good.
And it's she's fighting Kyle, she's supporting Amanda, she's yelling at everybody else. Somehow she was with Amanda, making sure she's okay, and back at the table, fighting a good fight.
No, she's just incredible. And, like, the opposite end of the spectrum is, like, Nick and Lexi, where I forget they breathe.
You were like, is Nick at this dinner, or did he fall asleep?
Nick wasn't at dinner, I'm sure. I didn't see him. Even in Gavin's photo that he took, I don't think Nick was there. Like,
I'll have to go look at it.
The only reason I knew Lexi was there is because Andrea was getting yelled at by Kyle. Yeah, if not for that, she too was asleep. Like, I have no idea. So Lindsay forever, dude. She's so good.
She is.
Give it to the other.
I'm going with Georgina
Yeah,
because she is such a good star. She's is
great.
So funny and quirky. When she won that paintball game,
Yeah.
I was like, lift her up, people. I'm ready to run through the frame. And then she's also hitting the beats, getting the storyline. She is like getting the drama. She's passing it along in the right way too. Like
100%.
Every time she speaks, I'm entertained.
100%. And I think it's good she's attached to Lindsay because that helps, honestly.
Yeah.
And just to give her flowers, even when she's not in the drama, like the Kyle and Amanda shit, she didn't have anything to do with it, but she had a quip that they had to leave in of going, I can't listen to Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yes.
Hilarious, right? She honestly was nothing during paintball, but she somehow managed to stay alive, and she's like, her quip is, she's like, why aren't they celebrating me? Like, I'm amazing. It's her quip. She's really good with it.
She is, and that's what I need in reality TV. Like, I know I've told you, like, I feel like the valley is dark, and this is kind of like a version of the valley, you know, just on the East Coast, and I need it fun and quirky, and like that's what I want from a lot of my shows is like you can have difficult topics. We're all screaming at this dinner, but like I need people to be like saying some zingers that are like getting me along the way.
Yeah. May I just say special mention to Owen somehow. Owen spelled He had one line in this whole episode, and it was the one line I went, yep, and I'll remember that forever.
You 180'd from last episode. You had him out to the suburbs. Oh, you just met him out at the suburbs, and you were like, okay, you're not so bad.
You can come back with us. We won't
maybe
leave you
suburbs
here.
Owen is where it's at.
Yeah, maybe he should be in the suburbs.
Maybe he shines in the suburbs.
I couldn't give him a whole thing, but
no.
That one because that's reality. That's what we need in reality TV. Yes. I'm going to say something that shakes you to your core.
But also, like, we give credit where credit's due. We may not like you, but, like, good on you. Good job.
It's the truth, man. You read him down. One line. It was crazy. Anyway. Oh, so good. Honestly, this might be my new favorite episode. This one was fun. Maybe just to talk about. It was fun
dinner
to chat.
time is key for us.
Last episode was fun to watch. This one was fun to chat about.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a lot of nuances I feel like we had to hit the beats.
That's true.
Yeah. A 10 out of 10. All right.
One episode left.
And then we got, 2 reunions? And then... Oh, I'm going to be sad when this show's over.
I am too.
Just so y'all know, when we usually cover a season of like a live season of Vanderpump Rules or Summer House, by the end of it, Meredith and I both want to die. We're never want to see the show again. If this show does not get renewed for a season 2 immediately, that's my 13th reason. I am sad we're ending it.
Because partially, like, to give other shows credit, like, they're, like, 14 to 20 episodes. So, like, we're exhausted. This one is 9 plus 2 reunions. It's 11. But also, the content and where we're at, like, I'm excited to see what happened next. Partially because of the scandal. But even if the scandal hadn't happened, like, Kyle and Amanda's divorce is still top of mind anyways. That, like, I'm curious what's going on.
And I'm pumped for the reunion. Because we got some good reunion shit.
I know.
Sometimes for a reunion, you're like, ugh, what are we even going to talk about?
And to the point where, like, normally we're always just like, oh, like, when are we recording next? I'm like, when are we recording next? Like, let's get that date on because I want to watch, I want to discuss, I want to get to the next thing.
And Bravo, if you're listening, do not make this show over, I would say 10 normal episodes. I think that's the sweet spot for these people.
Oh, I think they're going to increase it because the Valley is up to like 14 to 15, but I think that's where you max out. It's like Summer House. You cannot get past like 15.
No,
that is the absolute max.
But Bravo, I know they're gonna squeeze this for everything it's worth.
Yeah,
Bravo, if you care about us, I'm telling you, 10 episodes is your sweet spot for this show.
I agree.
Because it's 10. If I had to listen to Whitney talk about drinking matcha on an episode, because you get to cut that out. You don't have a lot of filler. That's what's really good. Anyway. We'll be back for the finale. We'll be back for the 2 reunions. We're excited for both. Do all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. And with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.